price of XRP is about to melt faces, according to the most well-known chart analysts in the entire cryptocurrency market who also despise the cryptocurrency. Take a look at this headline, seasoned analyst. I believe that XRP sends from here, although you can call me insane. From the crypto basics, that is. In the latter moments of the video, I also discuss this story. SEC documents attest to Ripple's use of a round number in this transaction. 126 million XRP will be locked and exchanged for stock in the corporation. As a result, we now know the amount that Ripple is contributing to the Evernorth XRP treasury. I had assumed that this amount would be significant, but it still implies that the great majority of the initial investment will come from other companies, which is why I prefer a human. Call me crazy, but I prefer that the heavy lifting is being done. It's none other than Khalil, who is without a doubt one of the most well-known analysts in the whole cryptocurrency industry. As you can see, X has been active since 2017 and currently has 708,500 followers. He really made this account 2 months prior to my own foray into cryptocurrency. Therefore, he has been around for a very long time. I've been following him for I'm not sure how long. I had followed at first, but it was probably around 6 months ago. It's been a while, yet this person still despises XRP. I'm not sure if I would say that he has XRP derangement syndrome. Well, not from some of his more recent posts, anyhow. He still despises it, though. This person definitely despises XRP, but I'll give credit where credit is due. By tracking XRP and being able to predict the moments, he is acting with intellectual integrity. The majority of his followers dislike it when XRP shows strength in the charts. He has been saying bullish things about XRP over the years, and sometimes it makes sense to be bullish about XRP based on the charts, even though they detest the fact that he likes the cryptocurrency, and he will continue to make fun of it and shit all over it. However, it's absurd. I can. He is allowed to his opinion here, but his view of XRP is awful. However, these are about it. I simply think it's amazing and intriguing, but in this odd instance, don't you think someone can see that XRP has the attention of the entire world? Does continue to operate even after all of this, including the SEC attacks. However, he has been in the top 10 currencies by market capitalization for the entirety of its life, so you never see him look back after nearly 10 years. He never questions himself or asks himself, wait a minute, what am I not understanding? What have I been missing? Where is the self-examination? How could this be the case? Where is the intellectual curiosity? Because if he is correct, why is everyone else mistaken? And why is it invisible to most people? Many different types of coins have lost their appeal. Never come, never excuse me. Here, I would want to sip some water. I apologize for that. Many different types of coins have lost their appeal. Never to return. There are several coins with... Even back in 2017, we were in the top 10 for a small period of time, but we never returned. What's the matter with XRP, then? Still, it's kind of amusing. Since he is positive on XRP despite his intense dislike for it, I thought I'd post this. It's simply intriguing, isn't it? Particularly when it's an account this valuable, it's worth discussing. Therefore, I would like to start by sharing some of his past posts with you. This one was taken on October 30th, 2018, so at that moment in 2018, we're in the midst of the bear market. He asked what would happen to Ripple's centralized currency if the company ever received a subpoena from the SEC. There you have it. He hasn't altered his viewpoint either. He continues to believe that XRP is centralized. It doesn't matter that there isn't a single point of failure. It makes no difference if you're Kalium. Not important. There are explanations for its centralization. Then have a look at this. Until the node's owner replaces the keys, the parent business Ripple issues and maintains control over the keys on that node. Additionally, the business can freeze and seize money as it sees fit. He has some complaints regarding XRP, among other things. None of that is true at all. Furthermore, there are no parent businesses for cryptocurrencies. All right? XRP is a decentralized cryptocurrency, but it's not. It isn't a division of a business that doesn't write its own computer code. It cannot be a parent company's subsidiary. What on earth are you discussing? It's a really dumb story. It goes without saying that XRP cannot be frozen. However, same individuals who have irrationally detested XRP for years have continued to say things like this. That was a very popular story at the time, although it was obviously untrue. I'm merely showcasing a few samples so that you can see how intriguing it is that he's at least being truthful when he says, yeah, this is going to pump, at that point. A month before the SEC filed a lawsuit against Ripple for assaulting XRP investors, this post was published on November 22nd, 2020. Honestly, XRP is a worthless piece of shit, stated Kaleo, but I exchange useless bits of garbage. Ignore the fundamentals if it is volatile, and the setup is correct. I'm carrying a bag. Alright, you most certainly forgot the basics. Actually, it seems that you never did any investigation on them because you forgot about them so much. You didn't even know him. Or you are a liar if you did. I'm going to lose a lot of respect for this person and just quit following him if he performed the study and turns out to be dishonest. If he simply has a dumb opinion, which is obviously the worst one you can have about XRP, it's as if it's a centralizer or a fraud after all these years. Okay, so that's one thing you may be mistaken about, but consider this as well. I mean, after Ripple, the SEC followed, and even the S threw everything at Ripple. They did not even say it was a scam. They too were unaware that Ripple had no control over XRP. They never claimed to have done so. Thus, it is clear that all of this is absurd. This entry was published on March 20th, 2021. Thus, we are in a bull market. This is approximately 1 month before XRP eventually reaches its cycle high, which occurred in mid-April of 2021. However, this comes a few months after Ripple was sued by the SEC. This is a chart of XRP and Bitcoin. Kaleo states XRP BTC on March 20th, 2021. Apparently, it's a well-established hoax. As a trader of trash currencies, I thought this setup was great. My name is Wok. There you have it. Though the SEC, who at the time was suing Ripple, did not claim that it was a scam, it is a scam coin. It's a scam, even though there was no claim of fraud at all. What these folks say is this. Perhaps he is not suffering from XRP derangement syndrome. This might be considered XRP derangement syndrome. However, it is incredibly fascinating. In reality, why haven't some of the biggest banks and financial organizations in the world been able to scent XRP if it's a scam? As I mentioned in my most recent video, T. Rowe Price, which has been in business since the 1930s and manages assets worth about $1.8 trillion, is introducing a multi-coin cryptocurrency exchange-traded fund, and it appears that XRP will be included in it. An SEC filing had 36 listings for XRP, but Kaleo is aware that it's a fraud. Simply said, these are the world's most advanced banks. They are unable to solve it, and these investment firms are unable to solve the problem. Kaleo, however, is aware. Oh, are you aware of that? Will your discount coin be active? Yes, I do not believe so. What? But it's simply hilarious. Once more, though, he is at least being truthful about the charts. For some of these people, such as Peter Brandt, there is more to say. Another post is here. This dates back to April 6th, 2021. As a result, XRP is becoming somewhat hot. Claims that XRP BTC is set to end a downward trend that has lasted for more than 3 years. Here, zero exposure appears careless, when the price of this garbage coin begins to drop. Well, it's still extremely early for vertical moves or all at once for a burst. Well, that's accurate in part. Oh, XRP simply goes when it goes. In November of last year, we definitely saw it, didn't we? And to be honest, it moved pretty darn fast when it did so in July. However, we are still awaiting the last parabolic rally for XRP, which I am confident will occur anyhow. For the first time in nearly 10 years, it will finally melt faces as it soars to the top. I do not provide financial advice. Nothing I say should cause you to buy or sell anything, right? That's a really awful concept.